listening to Crystal Clear Lore, a Wormsong production. The rooftop garden of Solstice Tower smelled like honey and smoke. Alex Rivera stood near the edge of the observation deck, nursing a lukewarm elderflower gin, and watched the sun refuse to set. It was 9:47 p.m. on Litha, the longest day of the year, and the golden disk hung exactly where it had been for the last hour, suspended over the financial district like a watchful, bloodshot eye.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Said Meredith Vale, majority stakeholder, and thus the de facto queen of the building. She wore a white linen dress that looked too innocent for someone worth 9 figures. Rowan berries were woven into her silver hair that she had tucked back behind her ears.
We've hosted the Midsummer Gala every year since the tower opened. Tradition matters up here.
Alex had only come because his boss, Daniel, had insisted. Go. Network, Daniel had said. Be seen. So here he was, 33, burned out, and quietly terrified of losing the one thing that still gave his life shape. This sterile, sky-high world of money. A massive steel fire pit roared behind him, flames licking toward the twilight. Someone had scattered St. John's wort and vervain across the marble tiles, while fire dancers performed all around. It all felt theatrical and fake until the lights flickered. They stuttered once, twice. Then the entire building seemed to inhale. Conversation faltered. Even the fire dancers paused mid-twirl. Meredith smiled serenely.
The veil is thin tonight.
Alex laughed nervously. Corporate paganism? That's a bold branding choice. She didn't laugh back, instead fixing him with an unreadable stare before turning and walking away. Alex decided to head downstairs as the party had grown claustrophobic. The elevator doors opened on floor 68, where his office was, but the hallway beyond didn't look right. The usual sleek corridor of glass and steel now stretched impossibly long, lined with aggressive green vines that hadn't been there 20 minutes earlier. They pulsed faintly as if they had a heartbeat. A faint scent of turned earth and something sweeter, almost fermented, wafted toward him. Against his better judgment, he stepped out anyway, as if something had pulled him out of the elevator. The doors closed behind him with a soft, final chime. After a few seconds, he heard movement. "Hello?" he called, voice echoing down the hall. A figure appeared at the far end of the hall. His boss. Same charcoal suit. Same expensive watch. But Daniel's smile was wrong. Too wide. Too patient. "There you are," Daniel said. "Come watch the sunrise with us." "It's almost 10 at night," Alex answered. Daniel tilted his head. "Is it?" Alex's phone showed 9:52 p.m. "Yeah, man." He held out the phone and showed it to Daniel, but Daniel's eyes were glossed over. Feeling uneasy, Alex turned back to the elevator. The call button was gone. In its place grew a small cluster of white flowers. When he touched one, it left golden pollen on his fingers that burned like acid. Daniel grabbed him from behind. "Join us, Alex. It's an amazing sight." Breaking free of Daniel's grip, Alex ran for the stairs. He yanked open the door to the stairwell and charged down them. Floors passed in a blur, but after what felt like half an hour, he still found himself on floor 68. The same hallway, the same vines, only thicker now. They had begun to spell something along the walls in looping, archaic script he almost recognized from half-forgotten college mythology classes. He tried the emergency stairs again, only heading up. This time the numbers went down until he finally reached the lobby. He sighed in relief and yanked open the door, grateful to escape. Except it wasn't the lobby. Sunlight. Impossible, warm, golden sunlight poured across a meadow where the marble floor should have been. Wildflowers swayed in a breeze that carried distant bells. In the middle of the meadow stood the building's foundation pillars, now ancient standing stones covered in moss and carved sigils. The city outside the glass walls was gone. Alex stumbled backward. His heel caught on something soft. He turned around and saw the body. No, 3 bodies. 2 caterers and a junior analyst he vaguely recognized. They lay peacefully in a ring of rowan branches, eyes open, smiling at the frozen sun visible through the impossible meadow. Tiny blue flowers had begun pushing through the skin of their throats. A soft voice spoke behind him.
They accepted the gift.
Meredith stood there, barefoot on the grass that had replaced Italian marble. Her eyes were solid gold.
This tower was built on the old mound.
She said gently.
They told the developers it was bedrock, but the old ones never truly sleep. They only waited for the right fire, the right night, the right blood.
Alex backed away. This isn't real,
The longest day doesn't have to end.
Meredith continued.
Not if we feed it. Not if we let it bloom.
She extended her hand. A vine curled lovingly around her wrist.
Stay with us, Alex. You've been so tired. Let the light fill you.
He tried to run back down the stairs, but the tower fought him now. Hallways folded in on themselves. Elevators opened onto other people's offices, where the occupants sat perfectly still, heads tilted toward the windows, watching the unmoving sun. Flowers grew from their open mouths. One of them was still typing. Slow, rhythmic keystrokes, while honey-colored sap dripped from his eyes. Alex finally found an emergency exit that led to the roof. The bonfire had become enormous, an inferno that should have set off every sprinkler in the building. Instead, the flames burned green at their core. Dozens of people stood around it in a perfect circle, swaying. Their shadows moved a half-second too late. The sun somehow still hung on the horizon. Meredith waited for him at the center. The firelight painted her face with shifting shadows that looked almost like antlers.
You feel it, don't you?
She asked.
How wrong it is for the sun to set on Litha. How much more beautiful it is this way.
Alex's legs gave out. He could feel something moving under the skin of his forearms. Gentle, exploratory roots seeking soil. I just wanted to finish the quarter, he whispered. Meredith knelt beside him. Her breath smelled like wild meadows and smoke.
The quarter is over. Everything is over. And everything is beginning.
The last thing Alex saw clearly was the sun, still perfectly suspended, bathing the tower, the impossible meadow, and the changed city in endless, merciless gold. Then the flowers opened inside his chest, and he smiled.
Welcome back to Crystal Clear Lore. I'm Crystal Lance, and once again, I am back in a recording closet with a strange man.
Hi, I don't think I'm that strange anymore.
Now you're starting to grow on me like a fungus.
She still hasn't really learned my name, though.
Brad?
There's also a different sound at the end.
Bradley.
Almost. We'll work on that. We'll workshop that later. Well, what's today's episode about?
So today's episode is about the longest day of the year. It has many names, very commonly called the summer solstice. New pagans, the neo-pagan movement, calls it Litha, and the Catholics, being Catholic, have it called St. John's Day.
St. John's Day?
St. John's Day.
He gets a day and a wort?
Yes.
I always considered the longest day of the year the day you have to go into the DMV and renew your tabs.
So the summer solstice, like I said, is the longest day of the year. It's when the sun rises the earliest and sets the latest. Annual celebrations around it are called different names. In the days of the Romans, pre-Christian Romans, that's important, it was called Midsummer, and it was actually celebrated on June 24th, 6 months before the winter solstice. So once Christianity spread, it was redubbed St. John's Day to celebrate the birth of John the Baptist. Because apparently in the Gospel of Luke, it states that John the Baptist was born 6 months before Jesus, and since they put Jesus' birthday on December 24th, they had to put St. John's Day 6 months before that.
Do you think he ever went and rubbed it in Jesus' face? Ha, my birthday's before yours.
I don't know. That doesn't vibe with what I know of John the Baptist.
I'm just thinking of my son. He would do that.
Maybe if they were kids when they met, but they, as far as I know, they weren't kids. So little info on John the Baptist. If you don't know, John the Baptist was a prominent Jewish preacher in the 1st century CE. He was the man that baptized Jesus of Nazareth in the River Jordan. In both Christianity and Islam, he's also regarded as a prophet.
A prophet?
A prophet.
Are we talking about John like the book of John?
I don't know if they're the same person. It's John the Apostle wrote the book of John.
There's too many fucking Johns.
That's why it's confusing. So once we societally converted to the Gregorian calendar, the summer solstice began to fall between June 19th and June 22nd. This year, it actually falls on June 21st, which is also Father's Day.
That's cool.
Happy early Father's Day, honey.
Thanks. Well, Jesus got 420 this year.
Was it this year or last year? I think it was last year.
It all blends together.
Many modern pagans now call this day Litha, which is Old English and translates to gentle, mild, or navigable. Scholars think that it referred to the gentle and mild weather, which helped the sea become navigable, like they were able to navigate it easier.
Yeah, like Netscape Navigator. If you know what that is, you're too old.
Flash from the past, man. I feel very old. Historians and archaeologists have found evidence that the summer solstice has actually been important to us little human meat sacks since the Neolithic era. So the Neolithic era dates from 10,000 BCE to 2000 BCE, many, many moons ago. They have found that a lot of ancient monuments throughout Europe, Asia, and the Americas align with the sunset or the sunrise of the solstice. Celebrations of midsummer usually included a feast and a bonfire. Folks would try to jump over the bonfire for good luck, and it was a very common day to have weddings. In the 12th century, a theologian at the University of Paris, Jean Belleth, wrote that the bonfires were very common, but historians do agree it's probably older than the 12th century that we started lighting bonfires.
I would probably imagine it was quite a lot longer ago than that.
Things weren't always written down, and so to me, if celebrations had become like a really normal part of life, you're not going to always detail every little aspect of it. So people might not have thought to write them down. Now, an entry from a 13th century monk of Lilleshall Abbey in Shropshire, England, details that there were 3 different fires that were lit for St. John's Eve. And this is actually really cool because this is where we get the word bonfire. So in the worship of St. John, men waken at even and maken 3 manner of fires. So they wake in the evening and they make 3 fires. One is just clean bones and no wood, called a bonfire. Another is of clean wood and no bones, and is called a wake fire, for men sit and wake by it. And then the third is made of bones and wood, and they call this one St. John's fire.
A wart and a fire and a day. What else did this guy got?
I mean, he got to, try to drown Jesus.
Oh, and he is the Baptist.
He's the Baptist.
And he's a saint.
And a prophet.
He's just an everything man, like an everything bagel.
So many moons ago, when I was a young child and was learning the Bible, I do remember that he was a pretty big deal in, the little Sunday school stuff that I was going to as a Protestant. Many, many moons ago, pre-kindergarten. It's very vague.
Well, that's an interesting story from you.
Very, very, very long ago. It didn't stick.
Clearly.
Did not stick at all.
Some of the Bible is pretty boring. Okay, I don't remember all of it. I spaced John the Baptist completely.
I thought he was a big important guy.
He's there in the brainstem, but I don't remember much. So this will be a good refresher for me. So you kind of remembered more about it than I did on that one.
The St. John's fire is meant for protection. So in Winchcombe, Gloucestershire, they lit St. John's fire to drive dragons away.
Wonderful.
Because apparently the dragons would come out on St. John's Eve and they'd poison the springs and the wells.
Was this in the Bible?
I don't know.
Dragons?
I don't know. I was like, what do you mean dragons?
That's an interesting detail, historically.
Yeah, well, historically, fires were also so important to the celebration that they thought it would be a good idea to celebrate it by burning witches and using the fires to burn out evil forces that could conceal themselves in people or even animals.
Oh. They believed a lot of things, didn't they?
They really did, yeah. So, witch trials and all that fun stuff. Yeah, it's good.
I believe in someday someone's going to come save us from our taxes.
No. There are 2 absolutes in life, death and taxes.
You just shattered all of my beliefs.
Good. Get some new ones.
Yeah, I'll just order one on Amazon.
Water is noted to be kind of important on St. John's Day, especially with Jesus' baptism.
Yeah, water is a pretty important part of baptism, I heard.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, they kind of shove your face down in it.
Never got baptized, wouldn't know. Water, it does have a less important role, though, on this day than fire, but still prevalent. So German women were noted to wash away their arms in the Rhine, that river, to wash away ill luck that could bring calamity upon them in the new year.
I love when stories use calamity.
Calamity.
That's a great word.
Because it was St. John the Baptist, it was a very auspicious day to get your baby baptized, too.
Come on, get your baby baptized. Let me dunk your baby in the bath. Have you ever seen videos of babies getting baptized?
Yeah, it's really funny.
It is wild. It looks like something out of a horror movie.
It really does. They don't push them down in the water anymore. They just kind of drizzle water on their head because of all the issues.
Okay, I'm not the only one.
I think some people went, this is bad optics, guys.
Hang on. If you've been injured by a baptism when you were a baby, call 1-800 what the fuck.
The summer solstice, or St. John's Day, is still recognized around the world today. Brazil, Canada, many U.S. states, and most European countries still have celebrations or traditions that they uphold. There's so many that I cannot list them all, but why don't you pick either a country or a state, and I will get as close as I can to give you the stuff that they do in it. Some might be longer than others. So pick a country or a state, U.S. state.
Virginia.
Virginia is not on the list, but Kansas is, and I think that's the closest one I'll get to it.
Is there Tennessee?
I think Kansas is the closest one for down south.
Okay, let's do Kansas.
So Kansas, Lindsborg, Kansas, commonly called Little Sweden, has an annual midsummer celebration in honor of its 1869 founding.
Did they have it at IKEA?
No, but they honestly should. The festival includes a 5K run, a free swim at the local pool, a cub tournament, Swedish dancing, craft demonstrations, food vendors, including the Lindsborg Swedish folk dancers serving Viking on a stick.
Viking on a stick?
I get so far through the Swedish stuff, and then I just crack up at something weird that they have, because all I can think of is like a little Viking voodoo doll on a stick.
Nice.
Viking on a stick is iconic fair food. It's an all-beef or mixed meat meatball or skewer that is placed on a wooden stick, dipped in pancake batter, and then fried.
See, I thought I was going to have to make a meatball joke to reference it, but there we go. I didn't know a meatball was going to legitimately be in the episode.
Yep. The town is also the home of the Swedish Pavilion Historic Site, which was an international exposition building for the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, and it features a maypole year-round.
Oh, you like the maypoles?
I do love the maypoles.
We saw that maypole in Leavenworth, Washington once.
We did. Speaking of Washington, there is a Washington whole thing. So,
oh boy.
It's another short one, thank God. The Seattle neighborhood of Fremont puts on a large summer solstice parade and pageant, for which many years has... This is the most Seattle thing, by the way. It includes painted naked cyclists.
Yeah,
because
that sounds right.
Seattle.
Sounds like Seattle.
In St. Edward's Park in Kenmore, the Skandia Folk Dance Society holds Midsommarfest, which includes a Scandinavian solstice pole, which is a maypole.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a flyer from that. Oh, for those of you that don't know, probably because you wouldn't, I was born in Seattle.
This is very sad.
I did not live there long, just was born there. And then moved over to Spokane.
Yeah.
I won't dox myself further where I moved after that. But
out of Spokane.
Out of Spokane. Don't go to Spokane.
Run.
Yeah, so just a little geography.
Okay, any countries you want to learn about on how they celebrate it?
Oh, yeah, let me see. What about, okay, this is weird. What about Spain? I mentioned Spain the other day, so I'll just mention Spain again.
Okay, so the traditional midsummer party in Spain is held for St. John the Baptist. It takes place on the 23rd of June at the evening, which is St. John's Eve. It's kind of done throughout the whole country. In some areas, bonfires are actually called tequeos, which means people of the dance. Parties are usually organized at beaches where they light bonfires, and they usually have firework displays.
Does he have like a hometown?
St. John the Baptist.
Where is he from?
So St. John, I think he's obviously going to be from the Middle East, because that's, shocker, where the whole thing takes place.
I think he came from your mom's house.
It does not say that he had a town per se he was from, but that he grew up largely secluded in the harsh, arid Judean wilderness.
He's a feral guy?
Yeah, he's just feral. So he was a miraculous birth because his conception was foretold to his father Zechariah by the angel Gabriel, while Zechariah was performing his priestly duties at the temple in Jerusalem. But his dad kind of doubted Gabriel's message, and so he was mute until John was born and named. So
Yeah, I was just wondering because if he had a hometown, they'd probably throw a pretty big shindig, right? So what's the biggest shindig?
there's so many notes on this because of how big this is. Lithuania so far is, I think, one of the longer ones.
And if she's wrong and you know what the biggest shindig for St. John is, you got to put it in the comments.
I mean, the Vatican probably does something, but...
Oh, I didn't even think about the Vatican.
The Vatican did something. So Lithuanians called St. John's Day St. Jonas's Festival, Rassos, which means dew holiday, Kupole, Midsummer Day, and then, St. John's Day. It is celebrated on a large scale by most Lithuanians nationwide from the night of June 23rd to June 24th. The tradition includes singing songs and dancing until the sun sets, telling tales, searching to find the magic fern blossom at midnight, jumping over bonfires, greeting the midsummer sun, washing the face with morning dew, and having young girls float flower wreaths on the water of a river or a lake. So, it's a very big thing.
One last one, okay?
Okay.
It's back to the United States again, but I have to.
Okay.
Wait for maybe Australia too, but Florida.
Florida.
But Australia too, but they're basically Florida, but bigger.
So Florida doesn't actually have anything, which is probably good because let's think about that for a minute.
Thank
Do you
goodness.
really want Florida having some crazy shit going on down there?
What about down under?
No, nothing in Australia.
What is going on,
Austria?
guys?
It's mostly Europe. I will say, most of the stuff is Europe, and it's been carried over. Well, in Austria, they celebrate each year with a procession of ships going down the Danube River. It sails up to 30 ships sail down the river as fireworks erupt from the banks and hilltops while bonfires blaze and the vineyards are lit up. Yeah, it is apparently a 90-minute cruise that also includes lighted castle ruins that erupt with fireworks too.
That sounds kind of cool if you like a cruise.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. It's still heavily celebrated across the pond, but over here it kind of gets ignored.
Yeah, but the Catholic culture isn't necessarily super prevalent in holidays and all that stuff. I mean, there's a few, but it's not as big.
No, we definitely have such a melting pot of traditions here that some of them get kind of just spread out.
But, that's just the way it is over here. Not everything kind of came with the pilgrims.
And some things changed when they came over. Well, I'm going to let you guys head out early today because we shouldn't be here too long, hopefully. Hope that this made Midsummer or Litha or St. John's Day or whatever you want to call the longest day of the year crystal clear. Bye.
Bye.
Follow us on Threads and Insta at Wormsong Media. That's WYRMSONG Media. Want to reach out to us? Email us at wormsongmedia@gmail. Again, that's WYRMSONGMEDIA@gmail.